All right, man. We're Wrestling Live. We're here with our 1 o'clock show. We're welcoming back the great Joe Russo. He's been a wrestling coach or mentor now for 16 plus years around our country. He's back home now in Detroit, where he found a amazing youth program now called No Bad Youth. His professional job is he's been a residential supervisor for youth and a family teacher and mentor for years. So now he's putting all his knowledge into No Bad Youth and giving back to the community. And he's with us today. What's up, Coach Russo? How are you, man?
Hey, good, man. Thank you for having me on again. Glad to see that we're coming out of the summer. You're still doing your thing. Show seems to be doing really well. So thank you.
No problem. Yeah, it's been fun. People I've gotten to meet and everything. It's really been a heck of a journey. It's been good. I'm glad now that I think I'm starting to see the sunshine and getting to go outside a little bit again. And here in Florida, the rain every day at 3, but we do all good stuff, man. But from what I understand, up in your neck of the woods, Michigan, it's real bad, man. The very strict rules. You guys are still quarantined. Have schools started to open? Have clubs started to open, or are we still kind of everything virtual?
A lot of people are virtual right now. It doesn't really feel like we're on too much of a lockdown. I mean, there's still a lot of things that aren't open, but things are kind of picking up. Businesses are starting to open up. Salons, massage parlors, and things like that. I think just like today or yesterday, some of those started opening up. I think there's a lot of schools that are still kind of iffy. I know my children will be. Well, my son, who will be going into 2nd grade, he's staying home, but that's mainly just because of our daughter. She has cystic fibrosis, and so we're really not taking any chances right now. We might see towards that second half of the school year or what, but we're just homeschooling right now. But no, clubs are still shut down. Kids aren't playing sports, really. I mean, I think they're out there playing baseball and all that stuff, but football is done until the spring. And I'm pretty sure wrestling as well is going to be held off this year.
I heard a little bit about Michigan wrestling because, the Grappler is happening down in Myrtle Beach this year. And I know Coach Greathouse had to make that transition. I know he feels terrible about it because, he's Michigan true and true, but he understands that wrestling is needed right now. And he made the move and, we'll see how it goes. Get a lot of that dirty South in there now. So it'll be fun to watch. He's got a lot of good studs coming down from Michigan, from all over. So, so I've heard that. But, man, there's No Bad Youth. So I know that last time I had you on, Zoom didn't work. So we kind of did it the podcast way. You spoke a lot about your background as far as, coming through the programs, being kind of a kid going through homes and not having kind of parental figures around you and really struggling with mentors and having to look out for yourself. So a lot of your adult life, you've been involved with these youth and giving back and teaching so that coming from what you came through, you understand how to prevent that for these other kids and help them get through it. So you started No Bad Youth. I read about it, nobadyouth.com. And this is a fantastic program. And I think everybody should check it out. But tell us about it. Tell us where it came from. Tell us what your mindset was there, and.
Well, last time we talked, I think also we were in the middle of. We had that petition going around to save the wrestling program, the Scarborough wrestling program, which the board actually did. They fit it into the budget, so they saved the program. I don't know if we're going to be able to wrestle this year or not, but the kids still have it. So that was a huge success. So thank you too with that for making the time for us to come on and advocate for that. But with what I'm doing now with No Bad Youth, growing up, you're right. I didn't have jumping from home to home, family member to family member. I was placed in a group home when I was 14, and that's where I picked up wrestling. And it was one of those things that kind of just clicked in my head. But, going through and working with a lot of these young people, the last 16 years has been it's really kind of helped me out as well, because again, I didn't have a father, didn't really have a mother around that was, stable and consistent. I had plenty of, aunts and my grandmother and, and uncles and things like that kind of helped, keep me in line when I was young. And so not knowing and not really kind of having those tools and those skills taught to me until later in life, as an adult, again, I mean, what do any of us really know, right? But, kind of being put behind the 8 ball a little bit, coming around it, it's really helped me to, again, show these kids and kind of not to make the same mistakes that I did, and sharing my story, showing them how they didn't have to let their past and their families, really affect their future to the point where they had to follow down those same footsteps. And so now with this, and the reason why No Bad Youth kind of came out of this was, living in Maine, coaching and working in the residential youth care, it kind of was starting to become really tiring and exhausting, and it was really starting to affect my personal life at home. And then when COVID hit and I lost my position, I was inspired to, do something. And, past several months, this has kind of morphed into what we're doing now. And it's really just about giving these kids support, letting them know that they're not alone, that we've been there too. We've all had our experiences, and it doesn't have to be so hard, and they don't have to be alone. And giving them the tools and the strength, to be able to find their own personal strength and empower them to be able to take on their own lives, and be personally responsible for that, not having to blame their mom or their dad or their environment or their, color of their skin or their gender and things like that. They can look at, who they are as a person, and that's, I think that's one of our biggest messages is that you can have the power to create whatever life that you want. It's up to you, and then helping them through those stages and helping them progress. Because as our minds develop, especially when we're young, we can, most of the time when you're young, you're confused. You don't want to admit it a lot, but you really don't know what to do. You're just kind of, taking all the info coming from all the different avenues and trying to do the best that you can. And then you have peer influence and, your environment around you. And, there's a lot, and it's overwhelming. And if you're not careful and you don't have the right people around you advising you and mentoring you, it very easily can get sucked into this life of just pain and misery. And I've seen it happen way too many times. And a few times in my life, I've fallen victim to it too. It's very easy, but because of the people that I've had in my life, I've been able to not really go as far. I usually catch it pretty quick. I'm like, okay, hold up, wait a minute, nope. And then sometimes you get stubborn and, you're like, no, I'm good. You get hard-headed. I can push through this. It's, right. I'm going to make my own way. But, part of that sometimes is retreating and saying, you want to know what? No, I need to hold on. I need to think and, talk. And, there's something about having emotional intelligence and being able to, know how you're feeling, know why you're feeling that way, why you're acting a certain way, and think objectively and be able to make the best possible decision. There's a problem-solving exercise that I like to use that I learned as a kid, and it's called SODAS, where you go on this piece of paper and you write the word SODAS, SODAS, and it stands for the situation, the option, the disadvantage, the advantage, and then the solution. And so you pick a problem, you could say anything, Susie wants me to meet her, behind the gym and, and do stuff, and you could say whatever, but Sally wants me to meet her behind the gym, say you're a 15, 16-year-old kid, at 11 o'clock at night, right? There's your situation. You have options. You could meet her, you could stay home, or you could say, oh no, let's meet up. How about tomorrow or something like that at a different time, because we all know, and we're all going to advise our young kids to, there's no reason why you should be out at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, just hanging out at the school. It's not a, logic. That's not a good decision to make. Can think of a lot of things that can happen from there. and just going through those, quick problem solving and, steps in your head, and for a lot of kids, that's
What is it again? So situation, option, decision.
no, situation, options, disadvantages, advantages, and then the solution.
Disadvantage, advantage, solution.
Solution. Yep. And then so you
I
give
love
yourself,
that. That's awesome.
yeah, you give yourself a situation, give yourself 3 or 4 options, and then you go through each one of those options and you list as many disadvantages and advantages as you can until you reach a solution. And almost, it's one of those things where I'm confident enough to saying, if you just have a 15-year-old kid doing it by themselves, they're probably not always going to, think clearly. But if they have somebody who can help them through those processes in the very beginning, and they can learn those problem solving skills. And I think that's one of the most important things for these kids to learn, is becoming, that emotional intelligence and being able to problem solve quickly, and see exactly what's going to happen if they make those decisions. And so many kids don't have that. And not even just, kids from disadvantaged backgrounds, but, kids that have both parents at home that, are affluent, that, finances aren't an issue. We're seeing a lot of those kids have a lot of problems, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety because of, either pressures that they have at home or societal pressures or things like that. And so, historically, typically we look at a youth and we hear that term, at-risk youth, and we think of, only poor kids in poor neighborhoods, kids of color or, things like that. But that's just simply not true. It's all of our kids, all of our young people, especially, living here in 2020, when you have instant access to information the way that they do, no kid is safe. And I think that we're starting to see that now too with, the Save Our Children movement, with this trafficking business, because, not just that, but our children's minds are so vulnerable and they're impressionable and they're often confused and they don't know what to do. And so, when they can have that space, that safe space to be able to, grow and develop and learn good behaviors, more than likely they're going to grow to be good adults, well-functioning, balanced adults. So it's just creating those opportunities for these kids. And our main focus will be for those kids that are aging out of these programs, foster care, youth homes, getting out of jail, 17, 18, 19 years old, because the programs and the resources for them when they're younger, they're everywhere. There's tons, there's millions of good, great people and organizations out there helping young adolescents and kids in those school age years. But once they age out, now they're an adult at 18, 19, they're an adult. They're supposed to have it all figured out, go out in the world, pay your taxes, pay your bills, go to work, right? Do everything you're supposed to do, no problems, you're good, right? After they've been in a situation where they haven't been around good supporting role models all the time, or they've been in jail or, group homes, foster care, and, they're traumatized. A lot of these kids aren't getting the mental health resources that they need. And so now a lot of them are on medications, multiple medications, and now they're off their medications, not seeing their therapist. They're out in the world confused, impressionable, and they're anxious and they're scared and they feel alone. And we all know what happens when people are feeling all of those things. It's never a good recipe for success. And so that's where we feel like we can step in and say, hey, look, we have a network of individuals who are now adults and a lot of young kids that are in college that want to give back, that want to be involved in helping, their young peers. That, I got a 21-year-old kid right now in college. He's doing amazing. He's graduating. He's going to be a doctor eventually. He's starting his graduate program in the spring. And he's on my short list of board of directors. He's 21 years old. And that's our board of directors will be made up all of young people between the ages of 18 and 25. And this is something that is going to be youth led. It's going to be youth organized, and we want to be able to help, again, support those as they're coming out and hooking them up with people who have been in their shoes. We got a kid in California, getting out of foster care. He's 18 years old, doesn't really have much support, but he's part of our program. He signs up, becomes a member, gets his, all of his information, all of this stuff. And, say we have somebody in North Carolina who has a construction job. He's looking for kids, right? Looking for people. He was a system afflicted youth himself, 40 years old, family, stable, wants to give back. And there we go. That connection's there.
Where do the ragamuffins come into all this?
So the term ragamuffins, that was something, and sorry, that pulls on my emotions a little bit, because the school that I went to, the group home that I was sent to was a very famous group home in Nebraska. They made a movie about it in 1938 called Boys Town. And Spencer Tracy won an Oscar for Best Actor for portraying our founder, Father Flanagan. And Boys Town ended up becoming what it is today, which is one of the world's greatest youth organizations. Really one of the leaders in a lot of different areas, including research and behavioral modification, just everything. I mean, if you ever get a chance to check out the movie Boys Town, it's a phenomenal movie. Mickey Rooney is in that movie. As well, and Boys Town, the organization, is just it's a blessing for sure. But our executive director at the time that I was there, his name is Father Val Peter. He passed away just about a couple months ago. But he used to call us his ragamuffins, and it was.
I remember being a kid being called stop acting like ragamuffins.
Yeah. Yep. And so that term was new to me when I heard it from him. And so I did the same thing. I kind of just, I just Googled it one day and just kind of researched it and went, and it's a kid has raggy clothes and just kind of a little, hooligan, little problem child, just one of those little, yeah. And that's what we were. I mean, the kids that, when I went to school at Boys Town, we were all from all over the country, really all over the world. We had kids there, and we were all just different, had our own issues, our own problems. And Father Peter really helped us to, build a community and build a family with each other. And he always referred to us as his ragamuffins. He remembered everybody's name. 30 years later, he remembered a name. And he always did everything he could to make sure that we were set. And so I'm a part of a group of alumni and a bunch of other younger kids who really took that word and really made it part of our identity of who we are and what we come from. And so, we want to, again, when we're talking about empowerment, telling these kids like, hey, you want to know what? It's okay. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be where you're from. There's nothing wrong with you. Take pride in being who you are and know that it's going to help give you strength to get through life and whatever's tossed at you because you came from this, or because you are a ragamuffin, because you are this person. It's going to help you. It's going to use it and trying to help it turning into a positive. And so that's kind of where that came from. And it just stuck.
Yeah. I mean, I remember if grandma saw us with our shirt untucked or we just weren't looking the part. We didn't brush our hair, she'd be like, you look like a ragamuffin. And when I saw the word, it must be it. So is that tattooed on you?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm sure it will. I might go right under here with my kid. My kid drew this. It's my wife and I and him, and it's just kind of sloppy. But I mean, he drew when he was 3 years old, so it might go. I might have him write it and kind of have it go up here. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I mean, some of these questions I think you've addressed. I mean, you talked a lot about already through that first question, explaining No Bad Youth. You obviously spoke about mentoring and coaching and advocacy and what you're doing there. And I know that it sounded like your main job is these kids that are entering the world, we need to support them. So we need to be there and say, hey, look, there's a place for you to ask questions. There's a place for you to reach out to when you don't know. I mean, how many kids know how to pay their taxes, know how to go get insurance, go get a car, go do whatever it is they have to do the next step, rent an apartment.
Driver's license.
Yeah, we're here to support you through that process. And then we're not going to do it for you. We're going to show you how it's done so we can empower you to be able to do it yourself. Because if we go and get you insurance, if we go and rent the apartment for you, if we go and do it for you, then we're fishing for you. We're not teaching you to fish, right? And then obviously the progress. We want to be there along the way. We want to watch you progress. We want to help you progress. We want to see you go from a minimum wage job to a salary job, to owning your own business, or going from your first apartment you rented to now you're buying a house, right? Or working for somebody and now you're opening your own business, or whatever it might be. And I think it's big when you read a lot about No Bad Youth. A lot of everything you say says we support, we empower, we progress, right?
Yeah, no, that's really it. I mean, those are our three, those are our three really main points that, we can really, tie this to, because that hits home with everybody. And, and especially if you're a parent or if you know a young person, there's really no arguing saying that those three things aren't vital to success. And again, there's a lot of kids out there that don't have it, or they might feel like, or it might be there for them. They just don't know how to access it, or they might not feel comfortable with maybe the people that are there, and they just are looking for something else, looking for something to be a part of, and that's kind of where we step in as well. But yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head there, and with what we're trying to do. And, it's a grind. It's not, again, it's not for the weak of heart. And that's why when it comes to the wrestling part, why we're always looking for wrestlers. We're always looking for, kids who have gone through, different types of programs when it comes to athletics, because, as far as having mentors and things like that going forward with recruitment, because those are the ones that, typically are going to be able to, get through that adversity. Not saying that, of course, nobody else can, because we know that that's not true. It's just that when you're dealing with a certain population of kids, and these kids, a lot of these kids are tough. I can't tell you how many times I've had kids come into my face wanting to fight me, threatening me, spitting on me, assaulting me, and things like that. And not saying that we're gonna deal with a lot of that behavior, because we shouldn't, and we won't. That's the type at 18, 19, you should be over a lot of that. But even just, sometimes you have a conversation with somebody and the voice tone changes, or somebody says something that might upset somebody, and everybody's so sensitive these days. A lot of people don't work with young people because it's too frustrating. They don't have the patience. You always hear that. I don't know how you hear that to teachers and youth care workers and stuff. I don't know how you could do. I don't have the patience. I'd hit a kid, or I'd do this, or I'd do, and you hear people say things like that, and when you're dealing with young people, especially ones that are depressed, suicidal, have a tendency of becoming violent, you can't, you have to come at them from a different approach, a more, empathetic approach, and you have to really be able to not react and respond. And that's, again, a part of that, having that emotional intelligence of, hey, this kid can say anything he wants to me. He can do anything. Say, spit on me, throw crap at me, whatever, hit me with a car, right? I'm still going to love that person. I'm still going to love that kid. I'm going to give that kid a chance, right? And, I've seen it firsthand where I've had a kid come up and punch me right in the face. And I just stand there and I look at him and I say, you need to stop. And he backs up and he sits down. And I have that conversation. He goes, man, I've never had anybody that doesn't yell at me or scream at me when I get, because that's not going to get anywhere.
Or
right?
just look right back at me when you punch me.
Yeah. So, granted, he was a littler kid. He was only like 13. He was small, and he didn't really hurt that. It hurt a little bit, but it'd be different if it was a 6'6", 300-pound kid coming in. I would run away.
Yeah. Man, so how do I saw where you're doing training and seminars and things like that. How do people get in touch with you? How do people get involved with you? How can people help you with this?
Reach out to me. Get a hold of me at JR Casarez, CASAREZ, at nobadyouth.com. That'd be the easiest way to get a hold of me. As far as the seminars and the trainings and things like that, we're doing a lot of that virtually. And so we have a program, we have things kind of set up. We have something coming up in December we're working on right now. It's going to be a week-long virtual conference seminar where we're going to have every day certain speakers and different topics and things like that, from youth care work, advocacy, to social programs. We're going to talk about cultural issues and things like that. We'll start talking a little, talk about politics and some things that are going on in the country, and kind of start how to help bringing people together, and realizing that we're a lot more alike than we are different. And that's not even just Americans. I mean, that's global, worldwide. We're all humans, and we're basically all cousins anyway. It's like,
absolutely. And when we get off, you follow my page, right? Word Wrestling Live.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and in the comments, post links on how to get to you, post your information, post your stuff so that people can access you, and that'll be fun. And I love that sodas thing. I may use it on my kids, so I'll be like, wait.
It works.
All right, we're going to get into the 10 questions, and the 10 questions today is brought to you by Manscaped. So who is the best men's below the waist grooming? Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology development to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. The Lawnmower 3.0 is the way to go. Just for 20% off and free shipping, just put in Ward, W-A-R-D, at manscaped.com, and you can get yours today. The kit comes with a free bag and free underwears right now, but here it is. Here's the kit. Your balls will thank you. Remember, I tell people, like my buddy Romaine said, a stump looks bigger in the desert than it does in the woods. So get your lawnmower out. Take care of that. But here's the 10 questions. All right. I know you came from New England, coming back home to Detroit. Detroit or New England?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I'm in Detroit right now. I don't want people to get mad at me, but Maine is beautiful. There's something about the ocean and the beach and the mountains. If I had to choose someplace forever, it'd probably be Maine.
Cool. Proud of your hard work, JR Casares. Big love to you, fam. Josiah Harris.
Oh, Josiah, man, that's my brother, man. He's awesome. He's good people, he's doing some good things out in Colorado too. He's one of those guys that, he's one of those guys that's got a great story, and he's a wrestler brother of mine. We wrestled together. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Hey,
love you, Joe.
Click book now on the site and let's do it. Come on, Josiah. Drums or flats?
Flats.
I like the flats too.
Yeah.
Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Ooh, Oreos.
Double stuff?
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Got to hold them in for about 15 seconds and then melt.
Yeah, get them just right. Fried or smoked?
Ooh, smoked.
Kit Kat or peanut butter cups?
Ooh, peanut butter cups.
Especially in the freezer.
Oh yeah, I do my s'mores with peanut butter cups.
Ooh, I've never tried that.
Yeah.
Do that. Steak fries or curly fries?
Depends. The Rally's curly fries.
Oh yeah, that's
Rally's
like
Rally's curly fries. Yep.
Hell yeah. You go Italian sub or steak and cheese?
Ooh, steak and cheese.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Vanilla.
You're the kids. Milkshake or ice cream float?
Milkshake? Yeah, milkshake.
Milkshake, yeah. Grilled cheese or BLT?
Oh, BLT. But I'll let you. Have you ever tried a grilled peanut butter and jelly?
It is so funny that you just said that. My sister-in-law was here this weekend from St. Pete, and she said to us, you guys need to try a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She says it is the best fucking sandwich you will ever have, and I have to try it.
It is. It's great. If you
For
put
you just to say that, I was like, damn.
grilled peanut butter and jelly, I like to put bananas in mine. I do bananas, and then sometimes I'll put a small layer of Nutella.
Ooh, Nutella.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd do the banana, but I would do the Nutella. Hell yeah.
It's good.
I
Yeah.
see them now. They take the bananas and I saw something, 'cause, you know, my kids are watching TikTok and all that shit, right? So they'll take like a spoon and I saw them shove it all the way through the banana, right? I'm not a spoon, a straw.
Yeah.
And then they take the straw and they dip it in the Nutella. I'm sorry, they dip it in the Nutella and they hold the top of the straw before they put it in there. And then they squeeze the end of the straw and they pull the straw out so all the Nutella stays in the middle. And then they took, you know, the croissant roll shit, the stuff you find in a can at the store, and you can make croissant rolls with it, Pillsbury, whatever. And they rolled the banana in there with the Nutella in the middle, and they threw it in the oven.
Ooh, that sounds good too.
Yeah, that'll make you kiss your wife twice.
Oh yeah, I do the Nutella and the strawberries on the French toast. That's I love food though. I gotta eat.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got man boobs. My kids are putting me on Weight Watchers. I got to do better, but I'm having a good time. Hey, Joe, man, I'm so happy you reached back out, man. Great guy. I'm glad that we went live this time. I know last time you were moving, so we were having struggles, but man, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy you're still doing big things for the kids. And I tell everybody, man, keep kicking life's ass. And I can't wait to one day, you know, hopefully get around the country here and say thank you to everybody who has come on and done this with me through the pandemic.
Yeah, man. No, thank you for doing what you do. You know, keeping, you know, I definitely feel that wrestling spirit, you know, alive and well, and, you know, helping get every time we can bring our voices together and, you know, start conversations, I always think that's a good thing. So, you know, thank you for what you're doing on your platform. And, and if anybody, like I said, you know, love to reach out, love to talk with anybody who's interested in getting linked up with us. We're accepting donations to start this program, offering scholarships and providing housing and things like that. So we're in those beginning stages. You know, we'll have an online store, being able to get merchandise, you know, different types of books and articles that we put together and information and things like that. So check us out, keep in touch, and we'd love to hear from everybody.
Yeah, I'm trying to let's see. I know man, I'll have to reach out to them and get you guys hooked up, man. The Morgan boys, awesome family, man. They've got David's got Wrestling U up there in Detroit, and the brothers got it down here in Hollywood. And man, I'm sure they would love to be a part of, you know, having a room available for you to be involved and with the kids and stuff. I know it. I mean, just great people. So and they're all about giving back and wrestling. I mean, I had Charlie on and he's like, man, I wish there was a wrestling club every block. Like that would be ideal, you know? So I'll have to, I mean, I'm sure you can look it up, David Morgan, Wrestling U, and you can get a hold of him. But I'll also reach out to those guys. And hey, I don't know if Charlie or David, if you hear this or you're listening to it at any time, man, reach out to him. He's got a great program, No Bad Youth, giving back. I'm sure he could use the help and the love. Also, other people. I mean, you got Coach Simmons up there at from Michigan State. You've got Coach Greathouse doing big things. I'm sure they could all get involved and help the youth out. So all big things, great things, and man, keep doing it, man. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. All right, man. You too, man. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All right.